52 rows, and I need to sew it together so it becomes a band, which is going to be the basis of the crown. So I have taken my 6-inch lead, you know, the tail that I left, and I need to get that kind of out of the way. That's still my working yarn. And I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to make the ends meet. This is what we're sewing together. Okay? Now I've got a little hole here, and so what I can do to kind of close up that hole if I want to is just you put the needle in with a different stitch there. I think I've got a little bit of, there we go. Try to get in the middle of that stitch there. And then I'm just going to pull the needle through, and that's going to close up that gap just a little bit. And then I'm going to bring it across to the first stitch on that first row, and I'm going to sew it together. And this, you know, just do the best that you can, match them up as well as you can. You can either do a whip stitch and kind of go this way, or you can go back and forth, whichever you prefer. So I sometimes go back and forth. It just helps me kind of keep track of where I am. All right, go in straight. All right, come back in here. Okay, there's the fourth one. And then the one at the top. So again, you got to kind of keep your working stitch out of the way. There's the fifth one. Okay, make sure you go through the whole stitch. And then maybe do a little more whip stitch at the top. Just get one more. Okay, I have enough tail to kind of work my way back down as well. If you really just want to make it firm so it doesn't fall apart, just kind of work your way back down as well. What you're going to end up doing is hiding the yarn, the tail, by just weaving it into the ends there. Okay, so I've kind of gotten to the bottom. If I open it up, you can see it looks like that. You've got a little seam. I've got a little bump there. I've got to put my yarn back on. What happens when the tail gets a little short? There we go. So it's a little uneven at the bottom. So I'll just keep kind of come down here. Make sure that I grab those ends. And that way I get a nice straight edge. Okay. To make your knot, you're just going to go back in. When you have a little loop, it's a little harder when the end is short, but you're going to get that loop, put the needle through it, and pull through. Okay. Now what I'll probably do later is I'll just come back here and I'll weave this through the ends, or through the stitches, so that you can't see it. But for now, I think that's going to be fine. All right, I've got my seam. If I want, I can make that the inside. So that's what the outside will look like. And so that's going to be my right side, and I'm going to go ahead and start here, and I'm going to start working my way across. Okay, so this is actually where my seam goes. So the right side in this case is the one with the flat V's. You could wear it this way too. It just kind of looks a little bit more jeweled, so it's definitely an option. But that's considered the wrong side. So if I go to the right side, we've already got our band. So we finished this part, and we've got it in the round. And so the next step is to make these rows where you can see it kind of looks like a knit. Okay, and we do that by starting with a half double crochet. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll do a round of half double crochet, and then what makes the little V or the knit stitch look is we do the next row with a half double crochet, and we turn that top over. And there's a special way of doing that that I will show you. But let's start with the half double crochet. So now in this case, remember we've turned our work sideways. And so we need to get 52 stitches all the way around. And we do that by noticing that at the end of each row, there's a little hole. See? Each of those represents a new row. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a half double crochet in each of those rows. So I've reached the end. I'm going to do a single crochet at the beginning of my row. Gives me a little bit of room to make that a little bit taller. And the half double crochet, again, similar to the single crochet, except that we're going to start by doing a yarn over. So I yarn over, I put it through the hole, grab some yarn and pull up a loop, and now I have 3. Now remember, keep it loose, keep that little gap there. And then I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to pull that through all 3 loops. And that's a half double crochet. Okay, looks a little funny, but that's because it's the beginning of the row. It'll look better in a few stitches. So next stitch, yarn over, put through the hole, pull up a loop, make sure it's not too tight, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing that. Yarn over, push through the hole, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, so we're going to keep doing that all the way around. When I get to about halfway, I'm going to want to count. All right, so you can see as I look at this. All right, so now you can kind of see the half double crochet. It's a little taller than the single crochet. Okay. Yarn over, through the hole, yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, through 3 loops. Yarn over, through the hole, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, through 3. Okay. And yes, this is what it looks like when you get a little bit faster. So I'm going to get to halfway and I'll show you how to count. All right, so here's my beginning. Okay, where's my beginning? If I fold it in half, I've done about halfway. And then if I look at the top, remember I can count those V stitches. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So that's about right. So I need 27 more stitches. So I always check just to make sure I'm on track. Okay, and I just keep going. Yarn over, through the loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So I'm all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and, before I connect this, I'm going to count my stitches again. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do that off camera, but 1, 2, 3, 51 and 52. I'm perfect, got all 50, 52. If you end up short, you can usually squeeze in an extra stitch at the end or back up and kind of see if you left a hole somewhere. If you've got too many, then you can kind of go back and try and stretch it out. You don't want to, leave any gaps or anything like that. So then what I want to do, the instructions say to slip stitch to the first half double crochet. So my first half double crochet was actually this one with the, actually, you know what? I counted that as a stitch, and that's really not. This is my first stitch. This was my chain 1 to make it tall. So I actually need 1 more stitch. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go into this hole here. If I need to make one, I will. Yep, pulled up a little extra there. Sometimes that happens. I'm accidentally grabbing a little of the extra yarn there, so I need to try and do that again. That's normal. That happens. It's just you get a strand of yarn from the previous row. All right, so there's my 52. I'm going to skip this because that was my single crochet or my single chain to start the row. This is my first half double crochet. So I'm going to slip in there and do a slip stitch, which is just pull it through and then pull it through. Okay, and now you've got your rows connected. All right, so I've got my first foundation row with the half double crochets, and we'll let you practice that and do yours, and then we'll come back and we'll see how we do the next row, which is then going to take this top and it's going to kind of flip it sideways. See? All right, we'll be back.